Hello and welcome back to the series of presentations. We'd like to thank you for your time so far that you came along on the journey with us and you gave us an opportunity to present to you, first of all, how bad things are, and then hopefully to be able to put together some kind of a coalition of like minded people, experienced professionals who could sort of come forward and help us steer the country in the right direction. So there's chock full of ideas and that we will be presenting in this section. The first section was all about creating a case, all about trying to really understand how bad things really are, and then trying to move forward in this section. So let's go ahead and get started. Before we start, though, let's plan on how we are going to do it. We have prepared about 20 modules, and we are going to put together a very detailed, comprehensive presentation on all of those modules. And this includes following the SWOT methodology. This is something that has been presented elsewhere also in this presentation, but just a very quick recap of what it is. SWOT methodology is used by many businesses whenever they're going through a massive transformation or any changes, and then they're trying to understand where they are right now, what challenges lie ahead, what opportunities they are seeking, and how would they go forward and make things happen. So SWOT consists of these four steps. SWOT. S stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats or challenges. So effectively, when you go through this methodology, go and cover the items in these four sections, you'd have a really good idea in terms of where the company currently stands and what the path forward looks like. And obviously, we're using this methodology for a country and not really a company. But at the very core level, the process, the structure really wouldn't change much. So let's go ahead and deploy the same methodology, and we'll do it for Pakistan. So for each of the 20 modules that we just talked about, we tried to come up with a very creative narration, trying to figure out what we could do, where are the opportunities, what are some of the strengths that Pakistan really must be able to capitalize on, and most importantly, what are some of the best practices that other countries have attempted and how well they have fared. If someone is trying to do something that we are setting out to do, and they have done it successfully, it really behooves us to follow what they've done and how they've done that, and maybe try to get a few pages out of their playbook. And also in this section, we'll be talking about a lot of additional research material that we may not necessarily have the time to cover in this presentation, but we would strongly encourage you to go ahead and use the links that we provide down below. And for additional reading material, for some references, for some charts and whatnot, just just so you're able to fully come on board and understand what we're setting out to do. And yes, there would be lots of ideas here, lots of brainstorming ideas. And yes, some of them might appear to be as moonshots, as impossible as what are you possibly thinking? How could we possibly do this? Yeah, we like to leave them here on our list just because we want to have very high targets ahead of us. And then even if you're able to not get to all of them, even some of them, at least movement in those directions would be really, really beneficial. Okay. Before we start with the sections, though, we just would like to figure out to help us share some information in terms of what are some of the best practices on how to use this information over here. And for here, we're relying upon our extensive background in corporate training and setting out boardroom discussions, boardroom panel discussions on various options that companies go through. And we have sort of led these discussions, and similar to how we go through in those sessions, we would like to present the same opportunities here for you to also to understand and follow perhaps in the same format. So the best way for us to learn anything new is to first to get the basic familiarity, the basic understanding of what it is. And then once we are semi comfortable, then try to find a way to implement it, to interact with it, or to engage with it. So we really strongly encourage you that all the areas that we are trying to identify here, try to interact, try to engage with it. And for that, we've got some ideas here. Before you watch our presentation on each topic, we'll give you a very slight pause. Once the topic gets displayed on your screen, there'll be a very slight pause just for a few seconds. We encourage you to go ahead and pause the video at that point in time. Take some pieces of paper and and a pencil or a pen, or maybe if you want to do it on a keyboard and a mouse or on a tablet, that's absolutely fine as well. Imagine imagine that you're about to go on a stage to join a panel on this particular topic, and you'd be expected to have a healthy debate. You'd be expected to want to figure out what the background is, so you could really contribute to this debate that's about to happen. You want to gain some basic familiarity. We get it, we understand that. But then again, you need to come prepared, right? So spend the next 5 to 7 minutes now on preparing a list of all challenges that you think Pakistan is facing in those areas. Make a list. And then once you have got the list, then sort the list based on the most important, the most critical that absolutely must be addressed. Put them on top and then just sort your list. And then for every item on your list, this is really very really important part of this exercise. The idea here is not just to bash or to just come up with all the negativities. Yeah, that's kind of an important part of this. But now that we've identified some of the areas where the biggest challenges lie ahead, let's try to get creative. Let's try to come up with some solutions. Let's try to figure out how we would, if we had the baton, if we had the magical wand so we could just wave it and and miracles could happen, what would it look like? So to go crazy, make assumptions, don't hold back. Crazy ideas are fine. Let's have some ideas on how you would solve this problem. So set aside about 15, 12 to 15 minutes on preparation for this about the panel discussion that you're about to join. So now what have we just gone through? You have taken a topic, and let's say the topic is homelessness, or the topic is use of technology in a country like Pakistan. When you've gone through something like that, now you have now you have been able to let's go switch back. So now you have taken the topic and very detailed discussions you've had with yourself, of course, without anybody else. But now you have gone dissected the topic into very small challenges. You've come up with some goals. Maybe for each goal you went to the sub goal level. You identified what could be done, and now you are ready. So what now happens is when you've gone through this exercise, watch our presentation, and let's see what happens when you do that. So now that when you're watching our presentation, look for the areas that are on your list and not on our list. Now, clearly, you stumble upon an area, maybe a challenge that Pakistan is facing, but somehow it was not on our list. Figure out how important, how critical that is. If you feel it should be on our list, then by all means reach out to us and let us know and give us your thoughts. Okay, and this includes not just a problem that you've identified, but also maybe one of the solutions that you brainstormed and you said, hey, maybe we could try this. If we're not making that this as a part of our suggestions, then please bring it to our attention. Okay, all right. So with that, let's go ahead and get started, and let's introduce all the sections you're going to have in this presentation.